Welcome back to another Halloween special. And tonight we are going with the classic, the anniversary. I think this year is also the anniversary of this movie. Well, we are talking about my favorite Halloween movie to watch in October. The movie that gave me the most nightmares when I was a kid. The movie that made me not go to sleep for a week or longer. That's true. I did not sleep for a week after I saw The Exorcist, the original. I don't know why my mother decided to put on The Exorcist at night in our basement. Don't ask me why. I think my mother wanted to torture me. I mean, I did not sleep for a week after I saw this movie. There have only been two movies when I was a kid that kept me up at night for longer than a night. It was this movie, and it was the 1990 classic It with Tim Curry. Those two movies kept me up at night. And for some reason, this has now become my favorite horror film because, number one, it's a great movie. The acting by Ellen Bernstein, Linda Blair, Max von Sydow, and the actor that plays Father Karen. Excellent acting. I love how this movie has a great pace to it. Over 2 hours. But it doesn't, unlike most horror films nowadays, where they like to just get to the big moments, get to the jump scares, get to the big, This one takes its time. It's more about the character. The character of Father Karen, Ellen Bernstein. She's an actress, single mother. And it's, we get into these lives, and then we see this little girl who starts to slowly go down this dark possession. And the cinematography in this movie is unbelievable. The way they shot this movie, especially the bedroom scenes, especially in the third act, they had to make it like below zero in the room. So you see all the breaths coming out and how cold they were. The makeup, oh my god, the makeup. Here's the funny part about the makeup. Everyone talked about Linda Blair. Reagan. Where's Reagan? She's in here with us. Everyone talked about the makeup for Reagan. Well, you know the makeup that is the most jaw-dropping makeup in this whole movie? It is Max von Sydow. I am telling you, and this is not a joke, for many years, I thought that was Max von Sydow. Normally. I thought, he's old, he's an old priest, He's an old man, he's a priest, he looks good. And then time went on, then I saw him in Minority Report, and I thought, he's still alive? He looks damn good to still be alive. I mean, and then we saw him in Star Wars, and we see him in this, and I was like, man, this guy doesn't age. He's like Paul Rudd. The guy doesn't age. And then I realized the prosthetic makeup on Max von Sydow in The Exorcist, it was all makeup. He was like in his maybe 50s when this movie came out. He looked like he was in his 70s or 80s The makeup on Max von Sydow is perfection. That for so many years, I know that's how Max von Sydow looked in real life. Not old. I thought, oh, he must be drinking from the fountain of youth. I mean, he must be drinking the same stuff that Keanu Reeves and Paul Rudd are drinking. Because the guy doesn't age. Well, I finally realized, no, that was all makeup. And boy, wow. And like that, this movie has great cinematography. One of the most classic scenes in any horror movie is the scene with the priest, Max von Sydow, standing outside the house, and the light from the street light shining down, and he's looking up at the house. It is the most iconic scene in horror. I mean, it is a, and yes, it is very R-rated. You know, there's a lot of language, there's a lot of dialogue in this movie that you go, how did they get away with that dialogue? I'm not going to repeat some of the dialogue because it's so offensive, or it will be offensive to people, especially women. So I'm not going to go into the dialogue in this movie because it is like, whoa. But this is a great movie. There has never been a better Exorcist movie than this. This is the Godfather of Exorcist films. No Exorcist movie can beat it. I don't even think the new Exorcist is supposed to be a straight up sequel to this movie that comes out next weekend, or the first week of October, will be able to match this movie. Even though we do have Ellen Bernstein returning. But this is an excellent movie. I highly recommend it. It is one of the scariest movies ever made. There is one moment in this movie that always gets me. Doesn't matter how many times I watch this movie, but there is one scene in this movie that always gets me. And it's literally so quick. You wonder, how is that? Out of all the scenes in this movie, how is it that moment? And it's the scene when we see the devil. We have that brief, quick, if you blink, you'll miss him. And for some reason, every time the devil appears, fade in, fade out, I lose it. The hair on my arms start to stick up every time. It's the most simplest, quickest scene in the movie. No dialogue, no nothing. But it's like the scariest moment for me. It's a great movie. This was directed by William Friedkin, who just passed away about a month or so ago. This is to me one of the best movies he's ever made. Highly recommend to watch The Exorcist during the month of Halloween, the month of October. Once again, not the bad year.